On vacation recently, I ran into a student she was a veterinary student at St. George Medical School in Grenada. I've been to St. George. It's a beautiful school, and I've talked to some of the med students there. I didn't talk to any of the veterinary students, and she was a first year. She's finishing her first year in veterinary work. Certainly pretty excited about it. Now, it's harder to get into vet school than it is to get into med school because there's not as many of them. And when you think about it, they're treating all kinds of species, not just one. But she was very excited about it. She was working as a wrangler at the ranch that we were at. So animals are her thing. And I asked her what I always ask nurses, I always ask doctors, and if I run into a vet or two, I always ask them. Was vet school hard? Was med school hard? Was it hard to be? And you get various answers. But for her, she said, I wasn't the best college student. She said, I did okay, but I wasn't a superstar. She said, so when I went to vet school, I decided I really had to learn everything. And I couldn't rely only on the teachers. I had to rely on myself. So she said, one of the things that I do is, she said, as soon as the lecture is over, I get three of my friends and we immediately learn the mnemonics, the things that will help us recall what the steps are of that last lecture. She said, and then we quiz each other about what the lecture was about. We talk some more about it. She said, we do all this immediately after class. We don't wait for 3 days like some of the students do. She said, that wouldn't work for me. She said, I have to do it right now. And I was very interested in that because some of my clients go from Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting. Their whole day is filled with meetings. They never really get a break to say, wait a minute, what was that meeting all about? I was at a meeting recently and we were going from topic to topic to topic. And we would take a break every once in a while. And when we came back from the break, the leader said, okay, now wait, let's debrief that last hour. What do you remember from the last hour that we talked about? It was so interesting because everybody had a different memory. They were accurate memories, but they were different. And so it helped people do what my veterinary student did. Okay, let's sit down. Let's figure this out right now. What's going to stick with you? Because we're not going to remember all 20 slides we went through. We're going to remember something that's the true line for us, something that is deeply personal, something that's going to stick with us. And then when we hear from my buddy what's important to them, we say, oh, yeah, right, we had that too. So if you're running a meeting, and if you're not running a meeting, and there's a time when they take a break and they come back, either if you're the boss or the leader of the meeting, you can say, let's debrief that last hour. Or you can do what sometimes I'll do. I'll say, before we start, can I just say something? They never say, no, you can't. I said, how about if we take 5 minutes and debrief the last hour? They never say no to that either, because it's a darn good idea. And it's an opportunity to sit down and figure out what's going to stick with me, what is sticking with me, and what's everybody else's take on that. That is team wisdom. I'll see you next time.